find that perfect gift, you may have to step out of the malls and the stores and jump into cyberspace. Years and still kicking. I'm Brian Scott, live in Mason City. We'll tell you how the East Park bandshell is taking its place in the history books coming up. It's for the sake of weight. It's the same reason big cars like SUVs tend to get better traction in the winter. Well, Dave, the scene's still pretty crazy out here. As you can see, there's still a lot of emergency vehicles on scene. As far as we can tell, the bus is still tipped over as well. The district can only review this one wide view of the entire bus. Now they can get a close-up on the back or even take a view out the side here. It's important to have things like extra food in your car right now, blankets, plenty of layers, of course. You don't want to forget to have that. Rush hour traffic's not too bad on 122. However, things are moving slowly tonight, and there's a layer of ice on everything. Well, Dave, this is the culprit, common household toilet paper. And traditionally during homecomings at high schools, it becomes a decoration on the homes of football players and even class royalty. That's because this recycling yard, which normally employs about 60 people, is running on about a quarter of that right now. Well, Dave, many of them say they're not sure what to do. The two assaults are just the latest in what they're calling a deteriorating situation in the Northside Mason City neighborhood. They've also seen vandalism, break-ins, and even robberies at nearby stores. It's got several people living in fear tonight. Nicole Olberg's once peaceful neighborhood is taking an unwanted turn lately.
Over the years, yeah, things have happened and hasn't been too bad. Up until the last couple weeks, it's kind of been nerve-wracking down here. 2
assaults in 2 weekends, leaving one man shot, another wounded with a knife, and many neighbors frightened about their safety.
I used to be able to go walk the dog at 10:30 at night, go by the tavern. Didn't bother me at all. But now I wouldn't do it.
It's because of some new unwanted neighbors. Folks living here say the feuding group seem to be from out of town, and they believe they're up to no good.
I think it's people that have come from other states, other cities, and they bring crime and problems here, and to be honest, we don't need that.
Seems to be a lot of activity between the liquor store, this residence, people coming and going, hanging, congregating.
Folks at the liquor store say their parking lot tends to become a gathering place for the troublemakers. After one robbery, they're taking new security measures.
Get scared, and we have to lock the door after 1 o'clock. We just get scared not to get robbed or anything. That's why we lock the door and just open the drive-thru.
Abbas is also keeping extra staff on hand at all times and considering a more extensive security system. High cost, but he says it's worth it for safety. And that's what all the neighbors we spoke to say they want, their safe neighborhood back.
We're not all bad down here. Yeah, there's some bad, but there's some bad everywhere. And I wish they would take their crime and move on out of here.
Management at the liquor store say they're keeping close contact with the police these days, especially when large groups gather at night. Captain McKelvey says the police are also watching the area closely and will work with others to put an end to the problems on Mason City's north side. Dave?
Brian, thank you. And both of
Welcome to the Belmont Clemmy Alternative School. That's right. As of Monday, this old locker room is now where Pat Kelly and his students spend the entire day.
Without any windows, anything. We're in a locker room.
Our only reprieve is PE, lunch, and breakfast. That's the only times we get out of that room.
The kids are not happy, honestly, but I explained to them what the situation is, and we're hoping it's short term. I can tell you firsthand, standing in this makeshift classroom, that it's definitely pretty warm in here, and you can even smell the urinal cakes from this open-air bathroom through this door. But school leaders say at this point they don't have a lot to work with. Originally, the alternative school was in an old building that was recently closed down. When the school board discussed moving them to a different building, the vote ended up 3-3, meaning no motion would be made.
It was not our decision where they were placed, and I can't speak to why they're there or not there. That's not where I would put them. Is there a motion?
But the superintendent and staff members say there's simply nowhere else to house this class.
We have no place else to go. 17 kids that are taking approximately 30 different classes at the same time and pack all that up and move it. It's just not feasibly possible.
And with no discussion from the school board for now, class will stay in session here.
We all have something to say, but nobody wants to listen. Everything that they just caused is people getting more depressed and wanting a reason more to drop out of school.
In Belmont, Brian Scott, KIMT News 3. This is no place to play for now. As far as these firefighters are concerned, this Clear Lake playground is a burning building. They're using it to train and work together.
We try to work with Ventura a couple times a year, and just to get to know each other and understand that we're in this together and we're going to be working together more often.
But how tough can their course really be? We decided to find out. What exactly am I going to be going through here this evening?
You'll be going through some obstacles that will challenge your physical ability, your mental ability, and I think you'll find it pretty challenging.
And I'm trying it in full gear.
Oh, I already screwed up.
I'm not off to the best start. But with a little help, I'm ready to go. By the way, did I mention my partner and I are doing this blindfolded?
To train in these types of conditions, then you know how to work with each other and how each other's going to respond.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
It was tough to make it through a lot of the small openings. After all, this playground is intended for children, not grown men with oxygen tanks.
Don't lose your rope.
I lost my rope.
Between the heat and the blindness, it's easy to lose your composure. But with some teamwork, we made it through.
Well, that was a lot more difficult than I thought.
But this challenge could help save lives if a real fire hits.
Number one is our safety. We want to make sure we're being safe first because we want to make sure everybody goes home.
And now they're doing it as a whole new team.
Hey, I don't think I've ever known how difficult it can be to maneuver a playground before today. Thank you guys for this opportunity.
You bet. Thanks for coming over.
In Clear Lake, Brian Scott, KIMT News 3.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brian Scott. Jamie has the night off. Flooding fears are on the minds of a lot of people this weekend, but for area farmers, the flood's already here. They're looking at soaked fields right now with planting season right around the corner, and for some, they've still got harvest to worry about. A North Iowa man is the lone survivor of a deadly crash in southern Minnesota. 4 people are dead in that crash near Albert Lee. One store in Madison has created an entire line of anti-Brett Favre t-shirts, including Benedict Favre and We'll Never Forget You, Brent. It seems like I think they want to forget him. I
think so too. I kind of getting sick of hearing it. I like the guy, but
I think a lot of people want to forget him already.
Sunshine will return in full, coming up in a few moments.
Yeah, bittersweet warm weather. Thanks, Adam. A bill proposed in response to the death of Appleton-Parkersburg football coach Ed Thomas could become a law as soon as Monday. And summer vacation may be cut short for area kids if the president has his way. He says American kids spend too little time in school, putting them at a disadvantage with other students around the globe.
Once passed, it would immediately take effect, Brian.
All right, thanks, Cole. The Ed Thomas bill also carries penalties if a mental health facility fails to notify law enforcement of a requested patient's release. The first offense carries a $1,000 fine. It's a $2,000 fine for the second violation. Well, I don't think we have anything like that quite in store today, and we're lucky we missed it yesterday. But meteorologist Jessica McLaughlin's in the Storm Team 3 Forecast Center with our first look at weather. Jessica.
Be back in.
I'm going to call that a pretty nice weekend outlook.
I'll look forward to the weekend. Yes, right. Enjoy the 80s when they return. Yes.
Absolutely. Thanks, Justin. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here in just a bit. Enjoy the early show.